Now at 5, what drivers need to know before Rangeline Road Bridge closes in Joplin next week. Plus, 4-staters come to the aid of the Carthage Humane Society in a time of need. And
we're getting a more detailed look at the items seized from former President Trump's Florida estate. I'm Natalie Brand. What the newly unsealed court document reveals.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
a lot of Joplin drivers will soon have to make their detour plans. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. South Rangeline Bridge construction has been planned all summer and is finally starting next week. Businesses near the bridge will still be normally accessible. MoDOT officials say they ask the citizens to be patient and pre-plan their routes to work next Tuesday, as the bridge will close at 5 a.m.
Collision Center and even the Hidden Acres restaurant, everybody's still going to be able to, 29th Street everybody will still be able to access their businesses. They just may have to take a different route to get there.
The project is supposed to be completed by December 16th. You can find more information and detour route on modot.org. The Carthage Humane Society was shocked to see its monthly electric bill increase to $2,000. They reached out to the community on Facebook asking for donations to cover the bill. The community came together to support and ended up donating more than the requested amount. Due to the extreme heat, the Humane Society bills have been increasing dramatically.
How are we going to pay this bill? Last month, our bill had jumped from $600 to $1,000, and that was difficult. But then it doubled to $2,000.
You can also support the shelter by donating animal food and cleaning supplies. Now let's check in with Sam for a first look at the weather.
Thank you very much, Dow. It's been a pretty interesting day. We've had some rain and we had some sunshine this afternoon with a little bit of both. Right now we have showers and storms still in radar, but they're mainly off to the east and moving away from us. You can even see a little bit of the spin there in the atmosphere around Monette. That's what we call a mesoscale convective vortex. That is now moving off towards the east. So we're going to have a pretty pleasant evening. There may be some more rain in our forecast as we head towards the weekend, so you want to stay tuned for the complete forecast coming right up.
See you soon. We're getting a more detailed picture of the items removed from the former President Donald Trump's Florida residence. A federal judge in Florida ruled that the inventory list could be unsealed as she weighs whether to appoint a special master to review all of the documents. Natalie Brand reports.
The newly unsealed list reveals more than 13,000 items were seized during the FBI's search at former President Trump's Florida home last month. That includes 54 U.S. government documents marked secret, 31 confidential, and 18 top secret. According to the list, more than 11,000 of the documents removed were without classification markings. Gifts, books, and news clippings were also part of the inventory.
This seems like it's an issue of paperwork that should have been able to be worked out between DOJ and him. I don't know what he took or what he didn't take.
The federal judge in Florida is still weighing whether to appoint a special master to review the seized documents. Thursday, she ordered the unsealing of the list, something neither side objected to. On Fox News, Trump's former Attorney General Bill Barr called the former president's request for a special master a red herring and blasted his public claims that he declassified the documents in question.
If, in fact, he sort of stood over scores of boxes, not really knowing what was in them, and said, I hereby declassify everything in here, that would be such an abuse and show such recklessness that it's almost worse than taking the documents.
The DOJ's investigation of Trump's handling of documents marked classified is just one of multiple ongoing probes involving the former president and his supporters. Former Trump White House counsel Pat Cipollone and his former deputy Pat Philbin appeared in a D.C. federal court Friday to testify before a grand jury. Cipollone is now the highest-ranking aide known to testify in the DOJ's investigation of January 6th and alleged efforts to overturn the election. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
Tomorrow, former President Trump will hold a rally in northeastern Pennsylvania. It'll be his first public political speech since the FBI's search of his Florida home last month. NASA is counting down to another attempt to launch its Artemis mission on a test flight to the moon. After Monday's scrub, the new window opens tomorrow afternoon. But the weather looks kind of dicey right now. This is going to be a test flight into lunar orbit But one day, a human crew will ride in the capsule for the first moon landing in half a century. The Crawford County, Kansas Historical Museum is hosting its 6th annual Living History program this weekend. Students experience historical demonstrations of what life was like during the Civil War era.
Our hands-on history with our students this is what life was like in Kansas during these times where there were skirmishes, there was battles, and this is what they did for home life, this is what they did during the camp life, and how they protected their home.
Demonstrations will run tomorrow from 9 until 3. Still ahead, the newest jobs report.
U.S. companies continue to hire new workers. I'm Matt Piper with a look inside the latest job numbers.
But first, a possible new treatment for monkeypox. That's just ahead in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, a drug that was first approved to treat a different virus could help people suffering from monkeypox. Researchers are testing the treatment that they hope will stop monkeypox in its tracks. Ian Lee reports.
Nearly 20,000 Americans have caught monkeypox, affecting people in all 50 states. Now, British researchers at Oxford University are testing a new drug to fight the virus called tecovirimat.
So there's every reason to believe it will be effective in humans with monkeypox.
The drug, initially developed for smallpox, is already being used in hospitals with extreme cases. Dr. Peter Horby and a team of British scientists are recruiting 500 patients with monkeypox for their trial. Half will be given the drug over 14 days, the other a placebo.
How does this drug affect monkeypox? How does it actually work?
It prevents the viruses leaving the cell, so it prevents transmission onwards to other cells. So it really sort of interrupts replication of the virus within people who are infected.
In previous animal studies, the drug sped up recovery while also stopping the virus from spreading. Monkeypox was first isolated in monkeys, but rodents are the primary carriers. It causes a rash that can look like chickenpox. The virus spreads through close contact. Many infections have been among gay and bisexual men.
Is this the kind of drug that could be a silver bullet to eradicating monkeypox?
I think now the priority has to be what we call elimination as opposed to eradication, which is not completely getting rid of it, but eliminating it as a public health threat.
If the tests go well, the drug could be rolled out as early as 6 months. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
If it turns out to be successful, researchers say patients can take the drug while they recover in the comfort of their own home. Negative health impacts of breathing air pollution might be more severe for women than for men. A new study from the European Lung Foundation looked for changes in people's blood brought about by exposure to diesel exhaust. Researchers found more impacts related to inflammation, infection, and cardiovascular disease in women than in men. If you're trying to improve your health by losing weight, well, it might be time to call in the professionals. New research published in the Journal of the American Medical Association suggests people trying to make lifestyle changes are more successful when they use a commercial weight loss program compared to those trying to do it on their own. And new data published in JAMA Open Network shows half of U.S. hospital-based maternal deaths occur before or after childbirth, not during. Researchers found maternal deaths happening at childbirth were declining, while those happening during pregnancy or postpartum remain unchanged. The study's author says hospitals need to examine what's driving maternal deaths during those times. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, the numbers from the latest U.S. jobs report.
And it's a long holiday weekend. I know a lot of folks are going to be doing a lot of stuff outside, so we'll have your complete forecast when we return. Well, we had a mixed bag today. We had a little bit of rainfall, but we also had some sunshine too, and it looks like it's going to be pretty much that way through the weekend. We'll take a look at that in more detail in just a second, but let's take a look outside right now. You can see on our tower cam, looking up the studio tower here, we're looking at lots of blue skies, just a few clouds out there, just a few cumulus, but those are fair weather cumulus, and it looks like it's going to be that way pretty much all evening long. Let's take a look and show you what's going on our Rangeline cam. Another beautiful day shaping up right now. Again, just a few cumulus out there currently. 82 degrees was our high, 87 is normal, so we were actually below normal on the highs, but slightly above on the lows, but overall we ended up slightly below normal for today. And of course, not anywhere close to the record of 105 back in 2000. Boy, that 48 would feel right nice. And we had about 0.2 of an inch of rain so far today, and for the month that puts us at 0.25 so far. Over the last 48 hours, you can see where the heaviest rain has been falling, basically from Joplin to the east towards Monette, over down towards Branson, and then another swath of heavy rain in and around the Tulsa area. But then some areas up to the north and west, not hardly anything, and hopefully that's going to be changing. There is a flash flood warning still in effect actually until right about now, and you can see it just popped off there for southern Lawrence, northern parts of Berry, and northern Stone County. But those storms have now moved off towards the east. The only rain in our area right now is just over there in eastern Benton County. And as a result of the rainfall that we've been seeing, we're getting a little bit of improvement in the Drought Tracker. You can see that some areas are starting to now just be in the dry to moderate category, but still there's a large chunk of our region that are under extreme drought conditions, and hopefully that's going to improve as we go through time. Temperatures right now are pretty pleasant, especially to the east with 73 in Stockton, 76 in Monette. A little bit warmer and toasty out to the west where it's close to 90 in Yates Center and Chanute right now. Meanwhile, it's 82 degrees here in Joplin. Dew points are in the mid-60s, even some 70s showing up. So that means on our dew point tracker, it's feeling sticky to muggy out there. But of course, that's mainly due to the rainfall that we've been experiencing. If you've been suffering from allergies, here's what it looks like today. 9.6 out of a scale of 12, and tomorrow a 9.9. So conditions getting a little bit worse. And also we're going to probably see the mold spores increase as a result of the rainfall as well. 82 right now in Joplin, feels like 86 because of the dew point is 70, humidity is 67%. And the pressure is steady. Now, because of the rainfall and the clear skies tonight, we're going to see fog form across our area. So if you're heading out tomorrow morning, be aware that there could be areas of dense fog if you're traveling around, and just be extra careful with those beams. All right, futures track forecast looks like this. Mid-60s tonight. Northerly winds, again with that fog around our area, especially to the east where there's been more rainfall. Then tomorrow, the better chance of storms is going to be to the west, over towards Sedan and Howard, and also northern Oklahoma. But there could be an isolated storm anywhere in our area with highs in the mid to upper 80s. Then as we go through Saturday into Sunday night, Sunday morning, I should say, we're going to see lows in the 60s with this inverted trough over our area. That's going to be playing games with us for the next couple of days. And what it means is isolated storms will be around our area as we go through the holiday weekend with highs in the mid-80s. Then as we go into Monday morning, Labor Day, again, lows in the mid-60s with a chance of scattered showers, especially off towards the north and east. Your rain tracker, better chance of rain this weekend is going to be to the east, over near Branson with maybe an inch over there. Lighter amounts as you move towards the west, so not much precipitation expected in southeastern Kansas. Your next 7 days looks like this. 86 tomorrow with that morning fog, 87 on Sunday, and then Monday, Labor Day, we had to throw in a chance of a thunderstorm. After all, it's a holiday. And then as we go in through the rest of the forecast, 30% chance of storms, but at least temperatures are seasonable for this time of year, Dow.
Yeah, highs in the 80s. We'll take that for sure.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Sam. The National Weather Service has issued excessive heat warnings and heat advisories in California, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, and Idaho. In Death Valley yesterday, temperatures set a new record, 127 degrees. The demand for electricity is high, particularly from air conditioning, and California's governor is asking residents to conserve energy. The dangerous heat is also creating conditions ripe for wildfires. Coming up, a baby stroller recall. First, though, we take a moment to recognize a local veteran of the armed services. Vernon Stice served in the U.S. Army Reserves during the Vietnam War. His hometown, Carl Junction, Missouri, and we're proud to salute First Sergeant Vernon Stice, a four-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, a new government report shows the job market remains strong and more people are looking for work. Matt Piper has the latest.
A number of industries are looking to fill critical positions, especially education. School districts need bus drivers, crossing guards, and teachers.
I think it's just indicative of the job market as a whole. I mean, we're searching for workers like every other business.
The Labor Department said Friday the economy added 315,000 jobs in August, less than previous months, but a strong number historically. The unemployment rate actually rose to 3.7%. That's because more Americans are now entering the job market.
It could be someone who retired during the pandemic and now is unretiring. It could be someone who didn't feel that it was safe to venture out in public to get a job previously because of COVID, feels a little more safety now.
Bankrate senior economic analyst Mark Hamrick says businesses need more workers. The latest government data shows there are 11.2 million job openings.
It is the fact that it's close to 2 jobs that are open compared to every single unemployed American in this country.
Experts say the strong job market shows the economy is not nearing a recession, even though overall economic growth is slowing and inflation remains high.
Last week, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said the central bank will remain aggressive in fighting inflation.
The Fed still believes it has a lot of work to do because prices are still high. The cost of shelter that includes rent and mortgage payments still high, and of course the cost of food is still high.
The Fed is expected to continue raising interest rates in an attempt to slow down rising prices. Matt Piper, CBS News, New York.
Now, a company is recalling its jogging stroller because the brakes, well, they pose a fingertip amputation hazard. Consumers are told to immediately stop using the UPPA company's all-terrain ridge jogging strollers. If a child's fingertip gets caught in the openings while the stroller is in use, it could injure the child. One injury to a child has been reported. You can find more information on the recall at KOAMnewsnow.com. Off-duty airline pilots calling for better working conditions and benefits picketed at airports all across the country. They're frustrated by a recent jump in flight delays and cancellations. The union representing pilots held what it called informational pickets at about a dozen airports. At the same time, the Department of Transportation is finalizing new regulations, including refunds, to help passengers experiencing long delays or substantial schedule changes. And if you want to change a tweet without deleting it, well, Twitter says help is on the way. After years of requests from users, the social media company says it's internally testing an edit button. Twitter says in the coming weeks, the button will be available to Twitter Blue subscribers who pay for monthly access to certain premium features. Tweets will be available for edit a few times within 30 minutes after it's been published. If you're a Ruth Bader Ginsburg fan, you should know you're about to get a chance to bid on more than 100 personal items belonging to the late Supreme Court Justice. The Bonhams online auction is set to begin Wednesday, run through September 16th. Proceeds will benefit SOS Children's Villages, an Austria-based international humanitarian organization. Bonham says 2 of RBG's trademark collars, including the beaded one, are expected to sell for several $1,000s apiece. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, we're going to go on the road with a heartwarming surprise for 2 brothers, thanks to a group of strangers. Then on KOAM News at 6, more on how the 4-state community has rallied to help the Carthage Humane Society in a time of need. Plus, a happy ending for a teen after a ball was stolen from him at a Royals game. And we're going to go live to Columbus for a preview of tonight's big game between the Titans and the Girard Trojans. Stay with us, CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Hey, this is a big weekend for a rare tortoise in a Geneva museum. You're going to notice that the tortoise named Janus has 2 heads. And this weekend, believe it or not, he's going to celebrate his 25th birthday. In addition to 2 heads, Janus has 2 hearts and 2 sets of lungs, but only 1 digestive system. His caregiver says Janus has 2 distinct personalities that, as you might imagine, can sometimes lead to conflicts. One head is more curious, the other is more passive and very greedy, they say. One is partial to endives and the other likes carrots. Obviously, one of these in the wild wouldn't survive very long for a lot of reasons. One is it can't retreat into its shell properly.
Yeah,
its head won't fit.
not. Yeah.
25 years.
25, that's a long time.
The weather, not too bad this weekend.
Not too bad at all. A few scattered showers and storms around here and there on Sunday and Monday. The better chance of that will be to the east, but temperatures not too bad. Mid-80s across our area, lows in the 60s, and then that continues into next week as well. So if you're going out boating, it looks like not too bad of a weekend for Labor Day.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 6. Let's make it a great evening.